Well, let's get right into the thick of it. James Germano wrote in and said David Pakman, misspelled, of course, is a liberal dweeb boy. You know, sometimes I get emails that are really angry with me or comments that are really angry with me, and they contain insults, but they contain some explanation as to why are you so angry? What is the bad thing I've done? And then I might have to explain myself or answer a question or something like that. When someone just goes, "You're a liberal dweeb boy," you it sounds like you just mean I'm on the political left and you don't like that, which is a pretty low energy criticism. You're not telling me where I'm wrong. You're not telling me where my policy ideas are bad. You're not telling me where my criticisms of Republicans or of this administration have gone wrong or have gone astray. I'm a liberal dweeb boy. Oh boy, then you really got me there, James. And then I actually step back for a second and go, damn, these people's lives must be really sad. Like, how terrible must your life be that you spend your time insulting random content creators on the internet? Because most people I know who are fulfilled in what they're doing, they'll either participate productively in online discussion, or they're just not participating in it at all. They'll go, hey, I like this video. And now I'm moving on with my life. And so I end up feeling bad for people like James. Like, stuff must really suck for James that he's choosing to take his anger out on me. And you know what? If it makes him feel better, I'm a big boy. I can take it. Keep it coming, James. I appreciate you. All right. Barry Johnson wrote on YouTube, it's apparent that Natalie Harp is controlling Trump. My question is, who is controlling Natalie Harp? Good question. Natalie Harp is the 35-year-old assistant to Donald Trump who leaves Trump little notes, sweet nothings around his personal residence at the White House. Trump seemingly is more in touch with Natalie Harp than he is with his own wife, Melania Trump. He seems to have no relationship with Melania other than some minimum number of required events that she attends with him. Natalie Harp has a portable printer on which she prints out positive headlines and tweets for Donald Trump, yada, yada, yada. And there are questions as to whether there is a romantic relationship there. But the question brought up here is an interesting one. Natalie Harp increasingly controls and directs Trump. And I say that not in the conspiratorial way. It's just he's spending so much time with her. She is working on a lot of his social media posts. She's reportedly involved in high-level foreign policy discussions in that she is there and will sometimes provide feedback when asked by Donald Trump. So she's in a position of power all of a sudden. Who is controlling her? I don't know that anyone in particular is controlling Natalie Harp. And this is one of those situations where, can we get all conspiratorial and go, well, I wonder if Peter Thiel, in his effort to get JD elected in 2028, is having Natalie Harp make Trump. We could do that sort of conspiracy theorizing. I just don't think we really need to do it. It may simply be, you can look up that Natalie Harp was formerly a right-wing media person. I don't remember if it was OAN or Newsmax. She was on those. It may simply be the sort of collective extremism that Natalie Harp picked up in her time as a right-wing propagandist that is what is directing her in her influence over Donald Trump. We don't have to get conspiratorial with it, although we certainly can. Teriyaki61 writes about Donald Trump's inability to walk in a straight line. We've seen Trump walking on red carpets that are relatively narrow, and you can tell that he can't walk straight. He goes to one side and then the other, and he's increasingly being helped to walk by people like the Indian Prime Minister and others. Teriyaki says that's why he has someone walking with him now to keep him semi in a straight line. Interesting idea. And it is true that we see more and more that Donald Trump is being walked with people. There's a very interesting video where he's walking with Melania off of his helicopter, and he actually bumps into her and sort of knocks her off her path. And something is going on with his inability to keep a straight line. And maybe staffers are noticing and they're trying to have a guide. Nigel commented about one of my California shows last week. At 46:30, you can hear David's kids in the background. So cute. Yeah, it is true. Normally in the home like at home studio, not when traveling studio, there's no kids anywhere nearby. But it is true, during the California media trip in promotion of my forthcoming book, Pay Attention, which I hope you've pre-ordered. You've pre-ordered it, right? I did not have the same equipment, which removes background noise, nor did I have the same buffer, nor were my kids in school when I was taping. So I was acutely aware when that was taking place that my microphone was picking it up. Glad at least one person found it cute. Tony K with a critique. Tony K says, "This is so dumbed down. It's like politics for teens." Speaking about, I guess, this show, although maybe Tony was talking about a Trump speech. I really don't know whether Tony was talking about something I played or the show. Let's imagine each scenario. Number one, it would be wrong to say that Trump's speeches are politics for teens, because he's actually speaking on a fourth grade level. So it's really like politics for 9-year-olds or 10-year-olds. It's too much to say that Donald Trump is doing politics for teens. He's speaking at a much simpler level than that. Now, if your critique is this show is dumbed down, it's politics for teens. One of the things that I believe is really important when we have half the country that doesn't vote, is I want to be as inclusive as I can be with the presentation of the show. And very often, I'll use a word that is not a particularly rare word, but it'll be maybe slightly less common. Like I'll say a panoply, for example. People will write in and they will say, "David, please give it a rest with using complicated words." And then other people will write in and they go, "Oh, David, you're acting like the audience doesn't understand." So I think if you're getting criticized on both fronts, maybe you're sort of striking the balance. But one of the things that I do try to do, and I think it's so important, is to make the subject matter we're talking about accessible to people. And I could do a show that uses academic language and feels, has a totally different stiff upper lip kind of feel to it. And I think it would be a turnoff to a lot of people. And the most important thing to me is to be understood. And so this is why sometimes people write in and they'll go, "David, maybe instead of social democracy, you should say that you're a social capitalist." And my thought process is that's not a really commonly known term. And I think I would actually end up being less understood rather than more if I used a term people aren't familiar with. So anyway, the point is we want more people engaged. The best way to get people engaged in the political process is to show them how their everyday experiences are linked to the people we vote for. And sometimes that requires speaking plainly, respectfully, of course, not talking down to people, but plainly and in a way that is accessible. And that's my goal. Get more people involved in the process rather than using a language and a delivery that is more likely to feel exclusionary, and to get people to say, this is not something I care about. So to the extent that the criticism was of me, hopefully I've explained the why. Christine Alexander wrote in on Spotify and says about the story Trump told Trump told the story last week where he says, "I split up the MMR shot for my kids." Now, we researched whether that was likely based on when his kids were born, and the answer is probably not. But Christine has a different take, which is no one believes Trump took his children to the doctor for anything. That was women's work, or the people who worked for him, to do. And don't you just love how the amount of vaccines he describes has jumped from cups to soda bottles to a gallon's worth? He has no clue. He only knows how to exaggerate and build upon his last exaggeration. I think it's a very fair point that I missed last week. Do any of us believe that in 1981, was Ivanka born in 1981? I guess I should verify that. Ivanka Trump, born in 1981. True. Do any of us think that when Ivanka was born in 1981, Trump was taking her to the pediatrician and going, "Hey, instead of giving her the MMR, could you get a standalone measles vaccine and a standalone mumps vaccine and a standalone rubella vaccine?" Almost certainly not. And I think Christine's point is a good one, which is forget about the fact that there were no individual vaccines at the time. Forget about the fact that this is a whole anti-vax identity that Trump has developed only recently in order to help him in the political space. None of us believe that Trump was the one taking his kids to the pediatrician in 1981. And that is a really good reason to suspect that Donald Trump is lying. Stevie Glover says, wait. Does David have a book coming out? He should have said. And then also, Citrine says, David, I'm begging you, please limit your book promotions to 2 per episode. I have mine pre-ordered and I have your first book also signed. But for us people who listen to your show every day, it's getting really, really repetitive. All right, listen, point taken. I want people to really understand what's going on with the book. You spend a really long time writing a proposal. When the proposal is finally accepted after meetings with editors and publishers, you have to write the whole thing. After writing the entire thing, you have to go through copy editing. After that's done, if you're recording your own audiobook, you have to record the audiobook. And I think we did 10 sessions of recording. Once that is all said and done, you don't want to feel like you didn't adequately promote the book. Now, the point is taken. I understand. If you go overboard, you end up hurting yourself. I would not want a situation where the first week comes and goes and the book makes it on no bestseller lists. And I feel like, could I have done one extra interview? Could I have come up with one extra promotion? So just understand, these are like such massive works and I don't want to leave anything out there. But the point is taken. This week, we have pared down the book promotion. I hope people have pre-ordered it. And you know what? The more people that pre-order the book, the less I will talk about it because I won't be so concerned about let's make sure this thing is a success. So point taken from Citrine. I appreciate it. I will take that into account. I'll try to focus on the promotion in the interviews that I'm doing on other shows and all this sort of thing. On the bonus show today, I promise you, no book promotion. No book promotion. You can get access to the bonus show instantly by signing up at joinpakman.com. Thanks for watching. Check out another one of our videos and make sure to subscribe so YouTube keeps our content in your feed. And if you prefer audio, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or Apple.